This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about the three main pillars of the Men of High Value movement. Those are TFF, Truth, Freedom, Family. Simple. The truth. What is the definition of the truth? That which works in the long run and in the big scheme of things. Why do I always put that at the end? Why can't it just be that which works? Because, hey, that's even simpler. Because you have to include the long run and in the big scheme of things. If it only works for a short period of time, it's simply a trend and eventually won't work. Or it's causing issues that will have long-term effects, bad long-term effects, and that doesn't work in the big scheme of things. You have to look at it, you have to look at everything from a principle-based perspective, from a perspective of the eternal perspective, understanding how long eternity is and seeing if this principle can apply continuously all the time forever. If it does, you can know for a fact that it is truth. One thing that my mother taught me was to think about it this way. If 1 million people did this behavior or took this action that you're taking right now, how would the world look like? Or even better, if 1 billion people did the exact same thing that you're doing right now and are doing your behavior, would that work? And what would the consequences be? In terms of the Men of High Value movement, another aspect of the truth is to take truth from anywhere that it exists. Everywhere. If it works, bring it in, apply it to your life, and use it. Because it's the truth. At one point in time, you want to become an emulation of the truth. You are the truth, okay? I've spoken about in the past that we want to become like our Creator. God is truth, which means that we should continuously be working towards becoming more integral, more truthful, and transparent in our behavior and our actions. Another aspect of it is to seek this truth from all inspired people and from the best books of this world. Inspired people very often write those words down. And when they write their books down, you got to understand that writing a book takes a long time. And very often inspired people are perfectionists. And perfectionists don't want to publish a product that sucks. So these inspired people eventually end up creating the best thoughts that they've ever had in their head. They've put it down in paper for you to read simply within a week or two. That's insane. You gotta understand the power of reading the best books of the world. And a lot of people ask me recommendations for books. And I've shared them on my channel. Just go look through it. Books, Men of High Value. You'll find some of my suggestions. And if you don't find them, here's a few quick ones. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Absolutely fantastic book. Must be read 10 to 15 times. The book Good to Great by Jim Collins. Again, fantastic book. Must be read 10 to 15 times. All of this. Okay, and there's tons of books more. Another aspect of applying truth in your life is using the strength in numbers principle. Meaning, you want to investigate case studies. Get as many case studies as you possibly can because the average of these case studies will teach you the truth. An example of this is to listen with open ears to everyone around you. You can learn a lesson of truth from every single person that you meet, as long as they speak somewhat your same language. You could also see on their behavior perhaps. But the point that I'm making about this is when you listen to people's stories, and when you've listened to enough of them, you will notice that they are saying or experiencing the very same thing as many other people. And when something is a bit unclear, you know exactly what question to ask them because you've heard this story 50 to 100 times before. And you know exactly why they did what they did because someone else has done the exact same thing. And then you can try and ask questions to direct them towards the truth, but sometimes they're just not ready for you to share that truth with them, so you just listen, and then eventually one day they'll come to you for answers because you listened to them. Okay, this is another way of applying the truth in your life and being the truth at the same time for other people. The second pillar of the Men of High Value movement is freedom. There's a fantastic book written about Kardemommebyen in Norwegian. And they had a law in that city, and that law was stated like this. Man skal ikke plage andre, men skal være grei og snill, og for øvrig kan man gjøre hva man vil. Let me translate that for you. You are not to bother other people, but you're supposed to be nice and good to other people. And other than that, you can just do whatever you want. I love this principle, and it rhymes in Norwegian. I love this principle because it simply explains the laissez-faire principle. Laissez-faire means to let be or let them do. And if you use that principle in your life, you will give more freedom to other people, but you will also get more freedom back from other people. Laissez-faire, that principle is one of the most important principles in the universe. Because allowing others the freedom to do whatever they want to do, no matter what it is, as long as they do not inflict upon the freedom of others, as we let them do that, guess what is going on? They are becoming educated. When we force them to do what we want them to do, the education stops working. Because they end up blaming us for us forcing them to do what we wanted them to do. If we allow them to do and we give them our full support in doing what they want to do, guess what? They now give us the same freedom, but not only this, they take full responsibility for their actions. And this is exactly what you want them to do. Because when they follow the path that they believe is the best thing for them to do, guess what? Life will tell them if that is the right thing for them to do. Life is the greatest teacher, and we must allow life to teach us, but also teach others what the truth is. So you understand now the principle of if you take away someone's freedom, you're taking away their education. Allow people to do whatever it is that they want to do as long as it does not violate the principle of freedom on other people. This is why we have law enforcement. This is why we have judges. A government, a limited government that protects the rights of freedom of its people. 95% of the rest of the government is bogus and absolute waste, and we are wasting our resources and energies building government up with all of our fantastic 30 to 70% donations we are doing on a yearly basis to the government. All those fees and taxes that we are paying is going to build up the government. We're voting for a bigger government every time we pay lots of taxes. If you do not know what kind of career you want to start, can I suggest to understand taxes? If you make it your destiny and your goal to understand taxes in every single country, or at least the most important countries of the world, and keep updating yourself or create teams of people who update themselves on taxes and tax laws and how to help people to legally pay their fair share in taxes, but to limit how much they pay in taxes because of the necessary, perhaps the loopholes that are in place, or perhaps simply just being ahead of the pack in understanding the tax laws and what the governments have done to reward business owners like yourself, so that we as a movement can pay our fair share of taxes, but as little as possible, simply because we do not want to encourage the government to become bigger and bigger and bigger. The less in taxes you pay, as long as it's legal, the more you are encouraging limited government, which is what I 100% stand by. 100%. Another aspect of this is also the principle of, if you are happy, I am happy. I love the principle of allowing people to do what they want to do, because people will love you for it, okay? And in fact, when they depart from you, as long as you give them that freedom, guess what? They'll always be there for you in the future. The last pillar, and one of the most important pillars of the Men of High Value movement, is family. I love family. We are creating a better future for the next generations. We want to create a beautiful world. The more beautiful world we create, the more joy and happiness is being created. And it's created by us. It's such a cool plan of happiness, the way that God has set this system up, because He's made it so that He allows us, because of the free will that we've received from Him, we are allowed to become creators in creating a better society for the future. And in this regard, create more joy and happiness for His children. It's an amazing plan. And when we have created joy and happiness for our next generations, meaning our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, we will get joy and happiness from their joy and happiness that they have, because of the way we've set things up for them to succeed and to have that same joy that we've had. This is how the system works, people, and it's very, very simple. Another aspect of family, let's not kid ourselves. All of us, truly, if we are masculine, truly desire for our line to continue. We want our philosophies to continue. We want our bloodline to continue. We want to create children in our image. And we want to do so with beautiful women. Okay? And so, if you understand the principle of family, it's all about retaining the women and retaining the respect and love from our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. Understand that what you do today will have tremendous effect on the future generations. If you create amazing habits in your life, you wake up early, you wake up at the same time in the morning, you make your bed in the morning, you eat healthily, you exercise, you make sales calls every single day, you make follow-up calls every single day. Those two are critical for your success, no matter what business you're going to be in the future. And you read the best books of the world. You become a better leader. You help others to feel freedom in their lives, to do what they want to do, so that you can have freedom in your life. Applying all of these principles will make you a better leader for your family. And in some sense, that's the most important thing for us to do, because the greatest joy and happiness that you're going to have in this life will come from within the four walls of your own home. The most important work that you will ever do will be within the four walls of your own home. Remember that. Family is the key. And as we apply the truth as we seek for freedom in everything that we do, and we do it to establish our families. Not only our core nuclear family, okay, but also communities where there is trust, honesty, openness. Amazing things can be done together. This is the Men of High Value movement. Understand that principle. The Men of High Value movement. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.